I'm really excited about today's guest speaker. His name is Lee Scott. And I'm excited to hear from him because selfishly, this is going to allow me to serve my clients so much better. You see, Lee he's a licensed Texas PPA, and he's going to tell us exactly what that is. He works for Dignity Memorial Funeral Homes, helping people pre-plan their final wishes. And it's one of those things that's very near and dear to my heart. My dad actually passed away about 8 years ago. There was no pre-planning there. And I know that the last thing that he wanted was to leave that to me. I'm an only child, but it's what happened, right? I had to write the check. I had to go through the whole process. I had to do everything. It ended up being a great event and honor him, but it was still, there was a lot more stress there than there had to be. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the floor over to Lee.
Chris, thank you. Thank you, everybody. It is truly an honor to be here with you. I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Lee Scott. I am a very proud United States Marine Corps disabled veteran. I served my country, and it is outside of my faith in Jesus Christ, my family that I love dearly, 3 amazing children, a beautiful, amazing wife, and you guys might not know this, but I have the 5 most incredible grandchildren that have ever been born. And any grandfather or grandmother is going to tell you the same thing. I'd like to pick up just a little bit where Professor Willie, First Sergeant, and Lloyd kind of started us. Lord, thank you for the scripture. This truly is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And that we must inspire until we expire. I am going to be saying that all day, probably all weekend, and that's probably going to continue into next week and beyond. Thank you, Brother Willie. I appreciate that very much. That was something that really got me going this morning. I do want to jump on just real quickly on this Veteran Suicide Watch. And there's a lot going on the 22nd, but I'm going to throw one more thing in there. Those of you that may or may not know about it, but out here in the east side of the county, we have the Heroes Bridge, the 66 that goes across Lake Ray Hubbard. And on the 22nd of every month, there's a 22-mile walk, 22 miles on the 22nd to help us remember our duties when it comes to first responder and veteran suicide. You can go to walkthebridge.org and you can see more about that. I plan to be out there, and I believe there's going to be some news from some of the local channels out there that's going to be putting some spotlight on this. So if you're ever interested in that, please reach out to me and I can get you connected. Chris said something there at the beginning, and I believe that he really launched us in a good direction. We have responsibilities to our family. We're all going to agree about that. And my responsibility as a husband, as a father, as a grandfather, first and foremost is to establish a faith and a foundation that they will never waver from. Outside of that, I believe truly that the most caring and loving thing that we can do is plan our own funeral and cemetery. When we get that taken care of and we fill out all of the necessary information, we get the payments done, then we're not going to be in the position that Chris was in. The very first day I started in this business, I was in Limerick, Pennsylvania. I worked for a cemetery up there that was also a Dignity Memorial Cemetery. We got a call on the phone from a veteran's family, and they had lost their dad. They were not having a good day. Pile on top of that, he was only 61 years old. He had some health problems, yes, nothing serious, but they lived paycheck to paycheck. They didn't have a lot of money. When the family came, they got there in front of me. We sat there and we talked, and I was just sitting in the back watching because it's my first day. And by the end of that 2.5 hours, I watched 13 family members in the room and on the phone pool together bank accounts and credit cards to pay for their father's funeral and cemetery needs. On the surface of that, that looked bad. But in the weeks and months that transpired after that, as I would follow up with that family, they continued to grieve and they continued to mourn. And I believe that that happened because they weren't allowed to grieve and mourn when they were supposed to. They had to set all of that aside and they had to focus on what they're going to do. But I want to turn our focus to veterans today, because I do believe that our veterans in this country, along with our seniors, are targeted and taken advantage of. There's not a day that goes by that I hear a story from one of our veterans, one of our heroes, that they have been taken advantage of because of their finances, because of their health, because of whatever the case may be. And that has to stop. I enjoy the time that I can get to sit down with a veteran and his spouse and lay this out. And I will tell you, sometimes it takes 3 and 4 and 5 phone calls and a lengthy a bit of time before I can develop enough trust with the veteran and his family that they think I'm not going to take advantage of it. And I'm there to help. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if everybody can see that. Got it. So what I will say is I will say welcome. Welcome this morning, and thank you for joining just for this few minutes. And I'm not going to take a lot of time because I do want to let you guys have some time to ask some questions. At the end, we're going to have some time. If you have some very general questions, please don't hesitate to shout them out. If you have some more personal questions, then please take me offline on that. You can call me, you can text me, you can email me. I put all my information in the chat. But briefly, we're going to talk about VA benefits, burial benefits, and a lot of people don't understand. Now, I'm thankful because I usually start this with the Pledge of Allegiance. We've taken care of that already. Thank you all very much. The Dignity Memorial Network is the largest funeral and cemetery supplier in the world. We have over 3,200 locations all around. Locally here, I've got 32 locations, 25 of them funeral homes. You'll recognize the Ted Dickies up here in Plano and Dallas. You'll maybe Laurelland, Dallas, and Fort Worth. You may experience us in Blue Bonnet. But probably our most famous and widely known is Sparkman Hillcrest. So many people know about Sparkman Hillcrest because of Ross Perot being buried there, Mary Kay and Mickey Mantle. So there are a lot of ways that I can support our veterans because I can help them out in any one of those cemeteries or funeral homes in this area. We're going to talk briefly about what the VA burial benefits are, and there's some misunderstanding about what they are, what they aren't. We're going to talk about the dignity difference and what I believe helps me stand apart from the mom and pops and the competitors that are out there. And the benefits of pre-planning that Chris did a great job of starting for us. We have been created, and this program has been created for veterans by veterans. We've got a video I'm going to show you. It's just about 8 minutes long, and it always stirs my heart when we see it. Let's watch this real quick, and we'll continue.
America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Americans owe that freedom to the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces who have faithfully served our country. I've had many memorable moments in my life but none was greater than I had the privilege to serve in the United States Air Force during the Gulf War conflict.
Can you turn up the volume, Lee?
When dealing with end-of-life issues. Did you know that over 60% of veterans think the VA will pay for their funeral or cremation service? That's simply not true. And 6 out of 10 veterans also think the VA will provide a free casket for their funeral. This is also not true. In fact, only those members of the U.S. military that are killed while on active duty receive a casket provided by the government. Let's face it, the reality is death is just another part of life, and it's important as a veteran to understand exactly what benefits veterans and their families are entitled to by the VA when that time comes. I believe that every veteran deserves all the benefits they are entitled to, including a funeral or cremation service that gives friends and family the opportunity to honor their sacrifice to our nation's freedom. But knowing what they are and how to get them can sometimes be difficult. That is why, in cooperation and with the endorsement of some of the largest veteran organizations, your local Dignity Memorial providers are pleased to offer you important information about your VA burial benefits and how the Dignity Memorial Funeral Program for eligible veterans can complement the government burial and memorial benefits that all honorably discharged veterans are entitled to. Dignity Memorial is the largest network of funeral, cremation, and cemetery providers in North America. During this brief presentation, we'll review the burial and memorial benefits provided to veterans by the government. We'll also discuss how the Dignity Memorial Funeral Program for veterans can complement the veteran benefits provided by the government. Your local Dignity Memorial provider will be happy to provide you with a free veterans planning guide that contains all the necessary forms to secure your VA burial benefits. Let's take a look at the government burial and memorial benefits provided to veterans. Any member of the armed forces who is on active duty or has been honorably discharged is entitled to burial in a VA national cemetery. In some cases, spouses and minor dependents are also eligible. Burial in a national cemetery includes at no cost a gravesite, as available, the opening and closing of the grave, a grave liner for casketed remains, and a government-issued marker or headstone. Ashes are buried or inurned in VA national cemeteries in the same manner and with the same honors as casketed remains. Maintenance and groundskeeping is provided by the government at all national cemeteries. Burial space has become limited in some national cemeteries throughout the country. However, grave sites cannot be reserved in advance. The Department of Defense provides a military funeral honor ceremony for every eligible veteran. The ceremony includes 2 or more uniformed military personnel, at least one of who is a member of the Veteran Service Branch, to play taps and perform the folding and presentation of the United States flag. The Department of Defense requires the funeral director to request honors on behalf of the family. Loved ones of honorably discharged deceased veterans are also eligible to receive a Presidential Memorial Certificate, an engraved certificate signed by the current president. Dignity Memorial providers work in tandem with the VA to assist families of veterans not only with obtaining their government burial and memorial benefits, but also with the rest of the details involved in providing honorable funeral or cremation services for veterans. Remember, these are benefits you are entitled to, but you have to request them. Again, all these forms and more are provided to you and your family at absolutely no charge and are contained in the Veterans Planning Guide offered exclusively by Dignity Memorial providers. In addition to providing excellent service at the time of need, Dignity Memorial will help your survivors long after the funeral or cremation service has ended by providing unique benefits to help families through this often difficult life event. These benefits can include access for 1 year after the service to the 24-hour Compassion Helpline that is staffed with trained grief counselors that can help family members deal with grief and recovery issues. We also offer a comprehensive aftercare planner to help families handle the many important business affairs and letters that must be sent to government agencies, banks, insurance companies, credit card companies, and so on. This tool helps simplify these tasks. When you use a Dignity Memorial provider at the time of need, you will also help your family obtain the American flag for your family. Flag cases are also available.
one of the things that I've learned is that when people don't pre-plan and it's just chaos, and they don't even have time to grieve you because they're so busy trying to take care of all the details that should have been taken care of. And it puts a burden on families. That's something that you don't want to do. Leave a burden on your family.
For veterans who have the foresight to make their funeral or cremation plans in advance with a provider within Dignity Memorial's North American Funeral Home Network, they allow you to transfer those prearranged funeral or cremation services to any provider within the network when they move more than 75 miles from their current provider. The Dignity Memorial Bereavement Travel Program is also available to help family members make travel arrangements. Dignity Memorial providers are especially committed to veterans and sponsor several programs to honor those men and women who serve and protect our country. Perhaps the most moving of these programs is the Dignity Memorial Vietnam Wall. This 3/4 scale replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. has enabled thousands of people across the United States to experience a moving reminder of those who gave their lives in the Vietnam War. Dignity Memorial Providers' Homeless Veterans Burial Program provides dignified burial service for homeless or indigent United States veterans.
And each one of them, to me, is very important. So that's my comrade. He's gone through or done for his country. Each one tears me up. I don't care who it is. That nothing to do with it. But each one of those guys were there for their country.
The 100% service guarantee ensures that your family is completely satisfied.
I feel very honored to be a part of the Dignity Memorial family because of the opportunity I get to serve my veteran families. Veteran families mean so much to me because of all the time I spent in the military. And once you're a veteran forever. We just become one big family. And it's not so much that we all know each other. It's just the fact that we all know that we served our country, and that makes us a close-knit family for life.
The Dignity Memorial Funeral Program for veterans provides a fitting tribute to those who have sacrificed for this nation's freedom.
As we saw in the video there, we have included in our veteran benefits, and now there's some provisions on this, and with the Dignity Memorial Veterans Planning Guide and with help from someone like me, I can help walk a veteran through all of these kind of murky waters. We are going to get our interment in a national cemetery, the opening and closing of the grave, the concrete box or the grave liner, and our headstone, and whatever that looks like, whether it's for a traditional burial or whether it's for burial of cremains that would go in the ground or on a memorial wall. There's a lot of people that don't know that there is even a 3/4 scale version of the Vietnam Wall that travels all around the world. This last Veterans Day, it was actually put together on top of the Intrepid Museum on the deck of that aircraft carrier. It was a spectacular sight to see. But if I have a veteran with their DD-214, I can sit down and I have the necessary documents in the Veteran Planning Guide that I can help them fill that out. And we can actually, although we can't reserve a space, we can get a pre-approval based on their qualifications. And there are specific things, whether it is a time of service and also how we served. Veterans that served in active duty are going to receive different benefits than those that served in the reserves or the National Guard. So those are things that we definitely need to share with people and make sure that they understand. Because sometimes, and what we started that video with, the not knowing or assuming really creates sometimes an issue, because I just helped a veteran and his family within the last couple of weeks He is in hospice. He is close to the time that it's his time to be called to that great force up in the sky. And he thought all along that he was going to be in the National Cemetery, but he only served in the Army Reserves. And he's not qualified. And so now the family is having to scramble and make some arrangements. By the way, I was able to find other family members on that one that had local cemetery already available. We were able to piggyback on one of the families, one of their family members that is already in one of our cemeteries down here at Grove Hill Cemetery, where they had an additional spot that had been paid for. There was just a few extra things that had to be taken care of that we were able to get him into. So there's a lot of things that I can do for a veteran, even when they don't qualify. And that's just a joy in my heart. That predetermination of eligibility is a form that is VA Form 40-10007, just like James Bond. When we fill that out, we send it to St. Louis. Within about 6 to 8 weeks, we're going to get a notice back that we have eligibility. And I tell every veteran to do this, whether you're planning right now to be in a veteran cemetery or not, do it now, get that taken care of. If you want to find out about that, give me a call and I'll help you out. And we're going to talk just a little bit about some of the things that were there. The video talked about the 100% service guarantee. Dignity Memorial has a compassion helpline that for 13 months after the time of a death, the family has a telephone number that they can call. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And the person on the other end of that phone is a licensed and at least a master's degree or above counselor that is going to be able to help that family. Because when you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you roll over and that pillow next to you is cold, where are you going to turn? We have a relocation protection that was also talked about in the video. We live in Texas now, we buy our plans here, but we decide we want to go down to Orlando, Florida and live close to that mouse with our grandkids. Okay, great. We just find a Dignity Memorial location and really any funeral home that we can transfer our pre-need arrangement to that location. We have a family first cost protection. That is one of those things that we never want to talk about, but I'm going to say it very briefly. If you have a child or a grandchild that is under the age of 21, that is unmarried and that dies for any other reason besides suicide, and you have a pre-plan with Dignity Memorial, then Dignity is going to gift to the family that package for the child and for the family. It's not going to change anything about your plan, but they're going to get that. We have the US flag case that's available. We have a family estate manager that's available, special discounts. We have cremation and burial plans for as little as $1,595. And people don't know that. Oh, it's going to cost me $20,000 to bury my dad. No, it's not. I can help you with that. We have endorsements from the DFW, from the American Legion, and Dignity Memorial is the only funeral home to be endorsed by the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States. A lot of people don't know this, but when President George H.W. Bush passed away, all of the orchestration behind his services, the funeral, the very dressing and casketing of the president in that beautiful wooden casket, that was all done by my Dignity family. Justice Ginsburg, President Reagan, Nancy Reagan, Barbara Bush, almost every single one of our heads of state in the last 25 years has been handled by Dignity Memorial. But you never see a Dignity sign on anything. When we sign up as veterans, we state an oath that we do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. On top of that, a veteran, when they sign their name to that bottom line, when the Marines, we got off that bus and we put our feet on those yellow footprints, we signed a blank check to the United States government that could include up to the cost of our lives. And at Dignity, we believe that that is something that is worth honoring, and we want to take care of it. There are many elements of pre-planning, writing down your final wishes, deciding where you want to be, and making the funeral home arrangements. And there are so many benefits that I would love to discuss with you, with all of you financial guys, with your clients. I am more than happy to sit down in a group with 2, 5, 10, 20 people, or one-on-one if it's required. I want to help these families make their decisions to where on the very worst day of their lives, I cannot make that day any better. But what we do, and what we do ahead of time in the heavy lifting of doing the pre-planning, is going to not make that day worse. There are so many things that we can look at. I'm going to stop the share so I can see, because we're almost out of time, and I understand that. But I want to have time to answer some questions for anybody that has, like I said, kind of a general question. I want to thank you all for being here this morning and listening to this. This is not a subject that we want to talk about. Yeah, remember in the movie Backdraft, is that if you get a, and I have to think it's in Backdraft, if you get a fireman to a funeral before it's their own, you've accomplished a lot. Well, veterans are about the same way. They don't want to talk about this, but veterans aren't much different than the rest of us. We all want to think that we're immortal, but Lloyd started us off with scripture, so I'm going to end us with scripture in this one. The Apostle Paul told the church at Thessalonica that we don't want you to be unaware, brothers, for those who have fallen asleep, because we don't grieve as those who have no hope. It doesn't say that we don't grieve, it just says that we grieve differently.
Thank you so much, Lee. I really appreciate that presentation. Want to open it up to questions in the chat. Joel asked how we get the VA 10,007 form. I'm sure you can get that on va.gov, right, Lee?
You can get that. I have a copy of it. That book, every veteran that I sit down with and talk, all I ask is that you give me 15 minutes of your time so that I can explain the 5 or 6 forms that are in this book. I will give this book, and that form is on the very last page. It's right here in the back. This one's ready for the first person that wants it. And my information is in the chat. I will tell you, my cell phone is 469-490-0054. 469-490-0054. You can call me, you can text me, you can email me. I have a goal this weekend of scheduling 20 veteran appointments. I've scheduled this whole day. That's the reason why I'm in uniform for our Marine Corps League. And what I've got to do today, I've got a mission today. If you know of anybody, or if you, one of our veterans, wants to have a sit down, whether it's in person, virtual, send me a note and I will set that up. Help me get that goal of 20 appointments set up today.
I will be calling you, Lee.
Thank you.
Okay, we don't have much time, but any questions? Anyone have a quick question for Lee?
Jeff did.
I just want to make a comment, and the reason I want to say thank you, Lee, for this information, for sharing this information. And my comment, I try to keep it extremely brief. Of my last year and a half of active duty, because of the number of first sergeants we had at Dyess Air Force Base, I was asked to be the superintendent of the Joint Service Honor Guard. And guess what my duties were? Is working with all these funeral homes in the DFW area in 106,000 miles radius, is doing what Lee is doing and having these memorial services. So I spent a lot of time. And Lee, I had a GS4 as my secretary, and she spent a lot of time working with those families, trying to get those documents to make those family that transition easy. So from a active duty, when I was active duty, I got a chance to see the bird's eye view what was going on behind the scenes, and working with the National Cemetery and all those other funeral homes that you talked about. I had an opportunity to visit those places. And so it's, so thank you for this information. I'm going to stop there because I got a chance to see what you're doing from when I was active duty.
Awesome.
Thank you, First
Thank
Sergeant.
you. All right. Well, thank you guys for attending today. I'm going to turn the floor over to Christy, see if you guys have any last minute announcements, and then we're done for the day. Thank you so much, Lee, for joining us today. And we invite you to continue to come and be a part of our chamber. I think you would be a definitely valuable asset to what we're doing here.
Thank you very much. I know Christy and I plan a conversation. Paul, I see your note. There's a few of them that are popping through here. I'm going to make a copy of all of these. And Patricia, are you the veteran from the colony that we served with a couple of weeks ago?
Yes.
Yes, that's me. We did the funeral together. Mhm.
Patricia and Christy and I had the privilege of doing a veteran ceremony together for one of our heroes that passed away. And if you haven't heard, Patricia is amazing on the bugle, and
Yes,
her
I am.
powerful presence. Patricia, I would appreciate when we're finished with this, if you could give me a call. I just have a couple of bugle questions for you, and because I'm working on putting together an honor guard down here. Thank
Yes,
you all very much. I will copy and paste all of these comments. I think I can copy
So
everything.
you don't need to copy and paste. So if you go to the 3 little dots on the chat at the bottom and you click on that, it should give you the save chat, and then you
Right.
can download to your computer.
Thank you, Christy.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. It is always an honor for all of our board and our leadership. Don't forget to look at our website for all the events. If you have an event coming up, you can reach out to Christine so that you can have editorial access to post your event on social media. We would love to do it for you, but there's not enough of us. So we're going to give you access to our social media. And then you can send it to us and we can put it on the newsletter. We'll do that for you, but you can post it on social media yourself. We have some community guidelines. So as long as you abide by those, you're welcome to go in there and post. If you would like to open up a veteran circle, talk to Irving. If you want to be a spotlight speaker, talk to Chris. And if you want to volunteer for our chamber, I am looking for a couple volunteers that would like to open the Zoom room for 1 month. It will not be a permanent position. It'll just be for the month. You'll open the Zoom at 7 a.m. And then at 7:30, we will take over for you. The days that you cannot open the Zoom room at 7 a.m., we will do it for you. I'm just getting a little bit burnt and I need some help with that. So if you would like to host for a month, that'll be great. I've been doing it for 3 years. So I'm looking for a break, guys. So please step up and volunteer. And it'll be good because you get to chat and make those connections with the people that show up early. So it's a good networking opportunity for you. Aside from that, Christine, is there anything else?
Absolutely. There's always something else. We always have something exciting going on with the chamber. And I know we had a great week with all sorts of fun events, from Jen's event with the Women, Wine, and Work. We had Business and Bullets on Wednesday. And we had our happy hour, right? Beth and Alex over Carrollton, right? So we had a lot of fun things going on, and those happen monthly. So you really don't want to miss out. If you miss it this month, it's okay, because guess what? We're back again next month. So those are consistent, cool opportunities to get together and network and hang out and get to know your fellow members. And we also have a happy hour coming up this next Tuesday. It's going to be at Blue Mesa in Plano over by 121. And this is actually going to be a happy hour that we're doing with other groups also. It's going to be a multi-group happy hour. So last time we did something like this, I think we had about 50 people there. So it was a pretty good turnout. So we're going to come hang out, have fun. It's a National Margarita Day. So whether you drink or don't, it doesn't matter. You can still come out and celebrate anyway. But it's just an excuse to get together, have fun, and socialize face to face. So invite anybody that you know. We're not going to restrict who comes. We want everybody, right? So come hang out and have fun.
Thank you to Beth for volunteering for March and for Lloyd for volunteering for April. So now we need the rest of the year. So let me know if you're available to volunteer for 1 month. Again, the days that you cannot do it, just let me know and I will jump right back in. Thank you so much. Have a great and amazing weekend. And please invite somebody to come and join us. We're not an exclusive group. We love our Patriot supporters. We love our veteran business owners. And our goal is 150 members by the end of the year. We need your help. Challenge coins are available. They're only $10. Lloyd, thank you so much for placing the order. Paul, if you need help with that, let me know. And have a great weekend.
And when you sign off, go to our Facebook page and share Paul Hendrick's special link on there that he needs people to vote for. So go share that on your page too. So keep working and spread the love. Thanks, y'all.
Christine, stick around for a second. Thank you. Bye.
Great meeting. Thank you so much, Lee, for all the information. Really appreciate it. I'm excited to be able to share this with my clients for sure. And